Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here after some really weird technical difficulties, but that's okay because we are live with the legend, Jon Fitch. There he is. And before we even get going, before we promote your website, tell the world how Jon Fitch is going to smash the coronavirus.
Stay away from gross people. That's how I'm going to smash it. And I've got ammo. I'm going to save that. I'm going to say heavily armed. I have a water filter like pump thingy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm good for a few gallons of dirty water I can make clean. Ready to go.
And that's it. That's it. I don't have to, because I'm telling you right now, Fitch, if you die of the coronavirus, that's when I get scared. When like the most fit dude, like smashing people, that's when I start to get worried.
Because it's all old people, and isn't it something like kids under 10 seem to be immune to it?
So far I haven't seen any kid deaths. We've got 6 official deaths at that same hospital, which is quick. But we also know about the quarantining of the elderly home. So I would assume the vast majority, if not the 4 new cases, are from that home. I'm definitely keeping my eye on it, and we're going to get back to that after we talk about actual martial arts, because it is a weird situation. You know, I thought that I didn't see the market coming back the way it did today. Is that going to be temporary? I mean, literally, what was it? 2 weeks ago, we're at our peak. Then by Friday, it's at an all-time low since 2008. And then today, at the end of the day, it goes up 1,200 points. So it's been a long time since we've seen a roller coaster like that. If you want a roller coaster ride on Instagram, Facebook, and so much more, you need to go to johnfitch.net. You need to go to the official Jon Fitch and subscribe there. And remember, the audio version of this podcast is always available on thegruelingtruth.com afterwards. Fitch, what do you got going on this week?
Well, we just had a seminar on Saturday. Went really well. Prepping. Going to start prepping for the next one on the 22nd. One World Jiu-Jitsu out here in the Bay. So we're going to roll from the success from one into the other, and then review and go over some stuff that we can change and make a little bit better, because it's a growing process. Want to refine the product as I move forward. Having a lot of fun. People are learning a lot from it. But yeah, that's the main focus right now. And then I got some other projects I got to put a little more time into also.
And you are back in the gym fishing for an event, fishing for at least a contender shot. And I got to tell you, hey, Coker, you're dropping the ball on my fucking 2 weekends a year that I get to get out of this state and go have a good time. How did you not make a March 14th card here, headlined by Jon Fitch? I don't understand it. You know, I mean, is it these new scumbags at Showtime? I don't know what's going on, Fitch, but I like my back-to-backs at the Mohegan Sun. And the Barnett fight's done. Barnett popped hot, so I don't get to see Barnett. That was one of the big features for me. Man, tough times, Coker. I mean,
yeah.
But you are back in the gym, right?
Well, I was in the gym a little bit last week. I'm gonna be getting back into the gym as much as I can. I was a little beat from the travel because we did our seminar and then caught a flight down to San Diego and went to Tijuana for some fights down there on Saturday night.
How was that?
It was good. It's really important for there to be small shows to get fighters experience, to get them out there, get them making money. The more shows that are out there, the better off it is for the athletes. So it's good to see small shows out there. But at the same time, it's like the UFC has created this monstrosity of a business model. And because of their monopoly, because of the way they do business, it just radiates everybody else. In order to compete or just survive in that market, they have to do the same thing.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. In fact, I think, was it the New York Post that did this story on Fighter Pay, had Kung Lee, Nate Quarry, talked about, I believe, the lawsuit that you're involved in. Yep. And they did actually a really good, extensive piece on that. I mean, that's encouraging. So at least.
Well, you start to see more people in favor of things. People are wising up. Fans are wising up. I was scrolling through some of the comments and stuff the past few days or weeks, and there's just, for every dipshit who's like pro Dana White and everything UFC's doing, they're a private business. They can do what they want. That type of mindset. They take all the risk. Like you could see, it's a much different ratio than what it used to be of those types versus people who are like, well, actually.
Well, since you brought up Dana, I guess I kind of have to bring up how Donnie Trump, his number one stunner, the man that got Darren Till into the country, the man that I heavily suspect, and all the evidence shows, got a man with 2 open rape cases and 19 prior convictions in his country.
19 prior convictions.
19 prior convictions. And people go to me, oh, most of those were traffic tickets. Listen, I know the media said that the majority were traffic or other types of disturbances. First of all, let me tell you how the system works. You get picked up for, like, say, marijuana when I was, like, in my early 20s. They dropped that down to a ticket of like a noise ordinance or a disturbance. That doesn't mean I didn't have the marijuana. Okay? Some of those are assault cases. We know about the other cases that were dropped mysteriously prior that had to do with sexual assault. And we know the one in December had a heavy level of violence, according to every news outlet that reported on it. So, I don't want to hear that excuse, but he's had him on Air Force One. Dana's been speaking at events. He told people, fuck you if I lose fans because I'm a Trump supporter. I mean, these guys are in a love fest right now, John. It's election time. The UFC's popular.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the battles we have to fight is to woo people on both sides of the aisle in order to help push the Ali Act through. So, we have to get them to see exactly what's going on, why it's a problem. These politicians, when they don't see anybody complaining from the other side, they don't see enough people complaining from the other side, it's easy for them to just go with the money because the money's talking. They see the money. They think there's only one point of view, and they're not really going to go out of their way to try to hear another point of view. So you got to get in their face. You got to talk to enough people. You got to get support, but that's going to take more athletes stepping up and going out to DC and lobbying and talking to the Congress people and letting them know exactly what's going on. I mean, these people get it. They're mostly like lawyers and people who own businesses, so they understand business law. They understand what this is supposed to look like. They're supposed to understand, or they will understand what a independent contractor is and how that operates within the law, and they'll see extreme manipulations and molestations of the athletes with what the UFC is doing with their business model.
I mean, again, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. And let's talk about the UFC a little, and then we'll get back into politics because there's a lot to talk about in the presidential race. Super Tuesday, the establishment getting behind.
What's that going on? I haven't even been paying attention.
Oh, dude, wait till I drop some knowledge on you that just happened a few hours ago. Then you're gonna love this. We're gonna talk Pete Bootlicker. We're gonna talk Amy Klobuchar. But let's talk about the fights. Did you see at least the Benavidez fight?
I didn't. I saw a little bit of clips because I was in transit or in Tijuana before there was a show down there. The UWC was down there, and I cornered one of our fighters, Antoine Hidro.
Did he win?
No, he got caught in a guillotine choke, and yeah,
Heartbreaker.
Happens sometimes. I've been there, but it was a good show, a good crowd. It was a fun environment. It was fun little trip.
Well, I'll tell you what, the main event on that show was awesome. I mean, they banged it out for 2 rounds. In fact, for a 125 fight, I mean, I'm going to butcher his name. Figueroa, or again, butchering it, has power. We've seen it before. I want to see him fight Cejudo. Figueroa, is that how is it?
I said figure weirdo.
Hey, he is kind of a weirdo. I'm fine with it. The guy's got power. He'll fight everybody. I like to see him against Cejudo. The problem is Cejudo's still the champ. You know what I mean? They just stripped Cejudo of the 125 belt unjustly when, I know they can't sell another Benavidez fight, but hey, man, this is on ESPN Plus anyway. You watered this motherfucking thing down again so much that there wasn't another top 15 fighter to be seen.
They've never tried to build the little guys,
And they're dude, the thing is, they're quick, and in MMA, power can translate. and they've never let it get that opportunity. I feel like they just saw that Demetrius Johnson was so dominant, and they thought they could sell him, and once they, saw they couldn't sell him the way they wanted, they kind of gave up on the division. Because if you think about it, how'd they sell McGregor on a division 20 pounds higher? It's not like 145 was that fucking power division. I think they'd only created the belt in that division 2 years earlier, maybe 3 tops. Brought that back. I mean, even back in the days of 155, that was basically the return of BJ Penn, right? That's when they gave that a belt and gave that a division. Listen, the sport has definitely grown globally. I can sit through and now go through my little IPTV and Ryzen's on. One had to cancel an event because of the coronavirus in Singapore. Let's see if that trend continues. That's pretty crazy. But there are organizations everywhere. And I think now's the chance that maybe Bellator can make a move. They got Viacom fucking behind them. What does Bellator need to do? Do they need to make Jon Fitch executive vice president?
No, they need to support the Ali Act and release UFC's stranglehold on the market.
So you think? That's an interesting angle.
If we had a sanctioning body controlling the titles, independent rankings, and then cross promotional fights, title fights, why not?
So everybody
wins.
That's kind of a good idea. So you're saying if they put the money behind the fighters in that respect, and that would eventually end the UFC's monopoly and give them a better opportunity financially anyway. So it's a win-win, really.
Yep.
I like that. I like that angle. I love that angle, John. See, you got to run for office, brother.
Make it a fair market, and then everybody has a chance to be on top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but everybody's just vying to be the next fucking monopoly. That's the problem.
Everybody's just waiting. Yeah, everybody's just laying where they're at right now. Everybody's happy with where they're at. I don't think there's any competition really in between organizations. Like, they're not competing to do better than each other. They're just competing to make a baseline of money. Mm-hmm. They just have the money printing machine. They don't have to pay the fighters that much. Their overhead's low. They sell a lot
sports
of entertainment. Sports entertainment.
All right. Well, let's start talking presidential race. So today, Pete Bootlicker, a.k.a. Buttigieg, is dropping out and putting his weight behind Biden. The Buttigieg is out. Amy Klobuchar is out of the race. Now, everybody was supposed to...
Who's she supporting?
What's that?
Who's she supporting?
Who do you think? Joey motherfucking B. And now people like Harry Reid...
falling in line.
They're all... Listen, Harry Reid is coming out because Joe Biden wins that South Carolina primary just before Super Tuesday. Now, I think it was rigged. I don't think fucking anybody voted for Joe fucking Biden. I'll be quite honest. I mean, the guy is literally going senile before our eyes. I have an elaborate thread of at least 25 videos where it is clear the man is losing his mind. It's John, I mean, you could see it, right?
I wonder how many presidents have been that bad before, and we never really paid attention.
Bullshit. Not even Reagan. Listen, Reagan was sharp in the debates, dude. I'm not fucking around. Listen, I've been doing this a long time.
They might have given him meth right beforehand.
Listen, they tried that with him in a couple of the debates. Like I was doing a podcast with Robbie Martin at the last debate, two debates ago, because I was in D.C. this week while there was another debate. Okay, so 2 debates ago, me and Robbie were watching, and we're like, Joe is a little bit more pepped up. I mean, he was a little bit sharper, and he wasn't stuttering as much. He was still doing that. And he was like, literally, do they have him on amphetamines? And I was like, they might. Rockfin exclusive, folks. That's why you want the Rockfin, so you can see good stuff like that.
Yeah.
Listen, fucking Reagan was sharp, man. I've seen the debates with Reagan. Reagan was sharp. Clinton's after that, I mean... Eisenhower, I've never seen any debates, but Eisenhower was sharp going out. I can't remember anybody, not even Bob Dole, not even fucking Bob Dole was as bad as Joey fucking B. Bob Dole says, we need more taxes. Bob Dole. You got to be.
Norm Macdonald's Bob Dole was one of the greatest things on television. For
You
a
have to
while.
be both a boomer to know who Bob Dole is or Norm Macdonald at this point, apparently. That's the new thing.
Google that or look that up. You heathens.
Oh, John, we're old. So, so now they're throwing their weight behind Joey B. Tulsi Gabbard's still in the race. Love it, Tulsi. Love it.
Nice.
You know, actually, she's trending right now on Twitter.
Keep her on the debates, man. That'd be
They
great.
haven't had her in the debates, dude. Listen, so that's the thing. She hasn't been in the last, I believe, 4. Okay, she wasn't in the last one. Mike Bloomberg bought his way into the last 2.
Yeah. Dude comes out of nowhere.
He didn't come out of nowhere. He came out of the fucking billionaire establishment predator class shitbag lot of them. That's where the fuck he comes out of. I mean,
So did he got his money from Obama? Something Obama did? What's the
he
story
had
there?
listen. Think
Where
of it
his
this
money
way.
comes from?
This is what you need to know. You need to watch Where's My Roy Cohn, okay? Great documentary. Just watched it. If you need a link, DM me. I'll send you one. The movie's amazing. Roy Cohn, who, I mean, is pretty much the scum of the earth, also a mentor to Roger Stone and Donald Trump. What he wanted more than anything, and he's this little guy, they portray him, even his family members speak about him as like this self-loathing Jew, gangster, do anything illegal type. I'm not kidding you. All right? So just watch the thing. His biggest thing was he wanted to be governor in New York. That's how corrupt he was. He thought if he could get so corrupt, he could take over New York just outright. Mike Bloomberg has 60 billion motherfucking dollars. Roy Cohn, as much as he smuggled away, did not have $60 billion. They are alike in so many ways. It is fucking scary, dude. It is scary as fuck. I can't imagine that guy being the president. That would be, I might leave the country. That might not be a joke. I might leave the country if Mike Bloomberg's there. If Joey B's there, I just figure they have him hemorrhage out and whoever the VP is. I mean, he's not pulling any strings either. That's like Reagan style, you know?
Yeah.
That's like George H.W. Bush was running it for at least 4 or 5 years, if not all of them.
Yeah, Bloomberg would be a nightmare.
Dude, all right, so I'm in D.C.
He would do a bunch of shit in the dark, pass a bunch of bills that nobody was aware of. Yeah, confiscations overnight.
He is literally wants the public disarmed.
Internet takeover would be more like China. Yeah.
He is bad. You're not wrong. Listen, I did a video, John, where, remember.
Stop and frisk at all schools.
At all schools? How about every public place ever
Every bus stop, all public transportation, the drivers and security, stop and frisk rights.
So you remember that
Tasers.
church shooting where the 6 people drew on the guy and fortunately only, I think, 1 or 2 people died. There were 2 deaths. The guy walked in, he drew his gun, and then 6 of the parishioners, they got out and one of them shot him dead.
Mm-hmm.
When Bloomberg got asked about that, he said generally people shouldn't have guns and that even an off-duty police officer in that situation probably shouldn't take action. I shit you not. I will find the tweet where I mean, this guy's so out of touch. He's got fucking armed bodyguards. He's terrible. Whatever. But now it seems like the establishment is pushing Biden. It's anybody but Bernie. I think that Bernie actually scares him. If somehow Bernie finds a way, John, if he finds a way, do you vote Bernie?
I don't think no. No.
No?
He supported far too many crazy things and I think that's just gonna put a bunch of it's just gonna give the SJW movement a bunch of steroids and amphetamine all at once.
But what about if he says he'll actually get us
them
out of the Middle East?
breaking stuff and screaming and screeching and complaining about everything and trying to cancel everybody.
I don't know, man. I've said this. So I didn't catch
And then
all
we'll
the
really
debate.
be ready for an authoritarian.
I mean, I think we got one,
2024.
dude. I mean, listen, I hate to tell you, but you need to read the fucking National Counterintelligence document. And we'll get into Assange in a second and what I learned while I interviewed a bunch of people while I was down there. Met Lee Stranahan, Howley, me and Alex Jones had our reunion on video. Let's see, who else did I get? Cassandra Fairbanks. And we talked about the Assange indictment and where it came from. And if you're not up to date on that, it's Trump's indictment, 100%. And I guess we'll just get into it. So for those that didn't see it, and the audio is absolutely terrible, I'm going to do I'm going to clean it up and put it out this week again. But here's how it went down. Dana Rohrbacher goes to Assange. He does offer him the pardon. It's set up by Kim.com and others, okay? Kim.com releases his DMs with Assange. He says, basically, take the deal. He's going to offer you the pardon, take the deal, give him the Seth Rich info. It says SR. And Assange says back, they have all the information they need and they'll get. And if they want to, come after me, they can suffer the same fate as the Democrats. This is back in 2017. So Rohrbacher goes there. Assange explains that he's already said it was a nation state several times. It wasn't a nation state several times, right? And that they have all the evidence they need. He's not going to give up his source. Trump gets pissed. He sicks Grenell, who is the new intel chief he just announced after this, to start the indictment. And the intelligence community, now this is according to Cassandra Fairbanks, who is releasing Grenell's assistant's audio that she recorded. His name is Arthur Schwartz. Schwartz. If you haven't heard that, if you haven't heard that audio, I know it's juicy, right? So Arthur Schwartz frantically while this indictment's getting written up by Grenell, okay? Arthur Schwartz desperately calls her up because it's not been announced yet they're going to drag Assange out of the embassy, okay? And says she needs to take down a tweet that she put up. And it's a retweet of ABC saying that this indictment is real and it's going to go down, okay? And he's like, you can't post classified information. And then he says that Grenell is doing this on behalf of the president and he doesn't want to go to fucking jail. So she agrees to take down the tweet. She deletes it. She actually, has all this on. And she says that the other thing they did after Rohrbacher went there is they showed pictures to Don and Don Jr. of children being tortured. And they said that it was because of the Chelsea Manning leaks that WikiLeaks published. So that's why the indictment and Chelsea Manning's currently in jail for 300 days. I went outside the prison, with Action for Assange. So basically, instead of indicting him on Vault 7 or the DNC leaks that he loved, right? I love the WikiLeaks, can't get enough. They did it on this, and they basically, she says, they tricked them into thinking that the Assange leaks actually caused torture. So, we're in a conundrum. The control of the quote-unquote permanent state or deep state is there. If we fucking let this guy get extradited, John, it's the end. Let me tell you what the conviction rate of the court he's going to is. Take a wild guess.
Probably around 100%.
Not something around. It is 100 fucking percent. Not around. It is 100%.
They have extra credit. They're a little over. 100%.
It is the same fucking judge that found Kiriakou guilty. And every other fucking whistleblower 100% guilty. So it's over, dude. That's all I can say. I hate to be the bummer. I hate to be like the fucking guy that's like, whatever. But I can't vote for that this time. Unless he fucking does something now. I can't vote for him. And that doesn't mean I'm voting Democrat either. But if Bernie... all right, how about this, Fitch? I'm going to sweeten the pot. Bernie says, Gabbard, you're my VP.
Oh, I don't know.
Does that move the dial?
I don't know. It's too much. I'm like, I don't know. He's too socialist. It's too socialist.
So right now,
I would rather sit it out than I can't support it.
You're not wrong. Listen, but all right, here's the deal. The permanent state has their leash pretty well on Trump, right? They got it pretty good. Do you think that there wouldn't be pushback the same way on Sanders, or do you think it would be basically the same thing where it's just the military-industrial complex having their way in the Middle East, and they kind of let whatever policy gives more government control to Sanders?
I've never been impressed with Sanders' foreign policy. Like, he's never really said or spoken out about much. Like, he just seems like he would be quiet about the wars. He'd continue to do war stuff behind the scenes, Nothing would change there.
He hasn't
And
stepped
then
up for Assange yet.
then he would tax the shit out of us and create all these programs that are a disaster, and no one will ever take responsibility for them being a disaster, and everybody will pretend like, oh, it's better than not having it, and it's not true. And like it's just I don't know.
Well, I mean, listen.
I'm unimpressed with the government doing anything, and anybody saying I'm going to do more things with the government. I'm like, probably you shouldn't.
I'm with you. Listen, if it was like Rand Paul or Mike Lee up there, that's what I'd really like to see. You know, it's a fiscal conservative, small government guys, non-military industrial complex. I don't know that they exist much anymore. There's usually like a handful of people that you can point to currently in government that are even saying some of the right things. So that brings us to coronavirus. And here's the deal. I didn't think it was coming to America. I thought it was all hype. You know, I was hoping not, but they've now said 2 cases in New York confirmed, and quite frankly, that's all a lie. There's been cases in New York. I now believe that this phone call, and a lot of people were asking me to replay this, since it's only about 40 seconds long, I'm playing it.
My wife works at one of the hospitals in Buffalo, New York, and I just wanted to let you know that we have a bunch of people here that have coronavirus, but they're not putting it on the New York State or the CDC website. There's a bunch of people that have tested negative and a bunch of people have tested positive for coronavirus in Buffalo, specifically Amherst, New York, and North Tonawanda, New York. But the news is not covering it here. And my wife and her coworkers are treating people and testing people for coronavirus at DeGraff and Millard Fillmore. I just thought you should know. And
all right, so let's just stop there. I have no reason to believe that's fake. Now that we have confirmed cases here, and the cases that we just learned about, I want people to really realize this. We just learned about in Washington. Within 2 days of learning about them for the first time, we have 6 confirmed deaths. So the idea that we just learn about something and then 2 days later there are 6 deaths should let you know that this is not only at an accelerated pace, but it's underrated. I'm not trying to scare anybody. But I think that we're going to see, number one, eventually, I don't know how the stock market survives, okay? We already know that China, I don't know if
you think this is a artificial pump?
I don't know, man. But, all right, here's the deal.
Cut out people's, to make sure people don't panic.
All right, so this is my working theory, and this could be completely wrong, right? But if you saw what NASA was posting, we'll show this to the audience, John. It's like within a month's time of whatever quarantine. So let's go beyond what the virus is or anything. The quarantines, we know things shut down, right? So this was January 1st to the 20th of pollution. This is a month later, really 3 to 5 weeks later. It's almost all gone. It shows you that they did shut down production. Okay, the news, everyone, CNBC, everybody already talked about a 90% reduction in shipping. Well, guess what just got reported, and it's being really underreported as well. Let's find that as here. Here it is. Is that now China is moving all their slave labor, the Uyghur Muslims, in caravans to work at the Apple, BMW, Gap, Huawei, Nike, Sony, Samsung, and Volkswagen stations. So I want to let people understand how important our First Amendment is, and then our Second Amendment. Because guess who can't stop from being forced into slave labor right now during a pandemic for no pay?
People with no guns.
People with no guns and no real religious freedoms. All right? Now that's scary. So what I'm thinking is maybe this is a quick market swing because the shipping is going to start again. The factories are up and moving. And maybe China's promising the powers that be that they have it contained. I don't know. Yep. It's very, very scary. That's one theory. Another working theory, and John, get ready to get upset. I don't know how you're going to take this one. So obviously, I don't believe it's 2 people in New York. Cuomo held a press conference today, basically said, get ready for the outbreak in New York City, and I believe him. If that was 2 weeks ago in Buffalo, conservatively, there's probably 5,000 to 10,000 people that have it here. Now, if it's as common as the cold and it's a 2% kill rate, most people have probably gotten over it and don't even know. All right. But they're already pacing you for that. Here's what's scary. Washington declared the state of emergency. And where is it? Unconventional warfare exercises started taking place in North Carolina in undisclosed locations. And, it's not Muslims who are getting at these checkpoints.
No ID?
Okay?
No, man.
And here's where it really gets scary. They got guys in trucks with guns as their enemy, firing blanks at them. So take a look. I mean, these are drills. This is not my scary headline, okay? Elaborate unconventional warfare exercise set for undisclosed sites in North Carolina. This is the 27th. All right, so this is within the last week. And we'll just play it for the mixed martial mindset audience. I want to get your take afterwards. I'm never for these type of things where U.S. citizens are the enemy and you're firing, dummy rounds and putting off explosives in, neighborhoods. I mean, there you go. There's another explosion. This is them above.
Is this even allowed? I thought this wasn't even legal.
I wish it weren't, John.
They're allowed to train on
U.S. soil against U.S.
American
citizens.
soil.
This has been going on for a long time. This is one of the reasons I actually respect Alex Jones and why I got involved with him. Because he had early footage that was not as elaborate as this, but way back in the day, in the late 90s. And when I watched Road to Tyranny and saw that. But that's happening this last week, all right? So I got a tip from somebody I've actually done work with in Nexium stuff that she said that she had cases in Oregon confirmed from her nurse friend before it got said, right? So it turns out the military also appears to be in Oregon at this point. Now, they're not conducting any drills, but I found this video. Now, some people are saying, they're in buses. Who knows? But if they're already deploying the National Guard in Washington, admittedly, and Oregon now has one case. They have more than one case. And this is what I'm talking about here.
There's a group of this is in North End, Grants Pass like this. So
there's some more of them. All I'm saying is have a plan, folks. And now before the price gouging begins for water or whatever, the price gouging is inevitable, I think. I think that's one thing because people freak the fuck out. And that's probably the scariest part out of this is public. I'm not scared of the virus. Like I said, again, folks, I will be completely frightened of the virus if Jon Fitch gets COVID-19.
I'm going to triple my prices for self-defense seminars.
Because you can smash it. This is the guy. This is the guy that's going to smash the coronavirus.
Stay alive. Times of danger.
Listen, if you're about to die, I expect a fucking DM, buddy. I'll give you one too. That's all I'm saying. That's one to get worried. But listen, the most frightening thing is the volatility of the market, is the fact that drills like this are taking place.
What's the scariest about all this to me is the clear show of how dependent we are on China's production.
Mm-hmm. Because, dude, the 2-day shipping's over right now.
So if something happens to them, what if they get in a war with somebody? What if there's a serious outbreak that kills a lot of people and the factories are just done for months? What's that going to do to our market? What's going to do that to our chain of food supplies? That's big trouble. I
mean, this was just a headline yesterday. How will the coronavirus outbreak affect Hasbro and Mattel? We don't understand, these things are very real. These markets are big all across the world. Just about every good and knickknack and toy for the last, I don't know, since we were playing with GameCube controllers. This thing was made in fucking China or Taiwan.
30 years.
Yeah. And we have offshored too much. Let's really make fucking America great again. Let's bring it in. Here's what I don't like. Number one, I'm all about borders. I want people to understand that. But most people are saying, oh no, what about an outbreak in South America where their people come up here? I'm more worried about the economic effect of not being able to house those people than them spreading the virus. The truth is, America is the most obese country in the world. And this, at the very least, what they're saying is it's people with heart problems. Those are the pre-existing conditions. We have the worst heart problems in the world here. I mean, the obesity rate is crazy. So that's another thing that bothers me about this. You're going to see, they're already warning for health workers and people in old folks' homes are at the highest risk, right? Well, if you got your loved one
It's
in an old
body shaming. How dare you?
or
How
am I
dare
being
you, Jason
realistic?
Burmist? How dare you body shame people? They're born that way. They're great just the way they are.
I'm doing fucking push-ups in the morning, Fitch. That's all I know. I'm doing a
Got
little
to, man.
jumping jacks never hurt anybody. You should be doing them anyway.
Lifts.
Now's the
Yep.
time. Now's the time. Get your immune system right just in case. I mean, the other big headlines are this is going to be a
Lift
seasonal
weights,
thing now.
squat, deadlift.
I mean, can you imagine the seasonal coronavirus? That's the next prediction. That this isn't going to
man.
just go away. That when it gets
Yeah,
warm.
because the weather is starting to get a little bit warmer
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So it's very, very possible that, we get rid of coronavirus because the weather changes, but we're not really getting rid of it. It's just laying in wait
Laying
until
dormant.
the next winter season. And then maybe it's next year's it really hits us.
Dude, all scary scenarios. I mean, honestly, and
Fire, guns, and ammo.
I got the
Been
question.
warned.
Fitch, you're killing me here. I'm like the one. You see, the thing is that like I had Shepard Ambellis on, and he thinks. I mean, dude, he thinks it's 100% kill rate. He thinks it's two different things. He thinks the fucking incinerators in China are really killing people. I mean, 1,000%. But he also predicted it was going to come here and that they would have at least pandemic level 4 by now. He says 6 in 2 weeks. He's been right on some things. He's the one that showed me that drill. Okay. So I never discount anybody, but I try to keep a fucking head about things. And I'm so pro Second Amendment, but you're just like, get those guns.
Better safe than sorry in that situation.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, but you're in a pretty residential neighborhood, I would imagine. Do you go to Indiana with the kids if it gets bad?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of stuck to where their mother is.
Yeah, but
if
even
it
her,
gets too,
you're not rooting for her to get the coronavirus, are you, Josh?
I keep telling her to meet me at places where people are sick.
Oh, dude.
Wherever there's a case reported. So I'm over there.
Get ready, dude. It's going to be everywhere. I predict it will be in every state by Friday. I think that's maybe even conservative. That every state will have at least one report because they haven't tested for it anywhere. Here's the other thing. You were talking about healthcare. Now, if you privately want to freak out about it, right? Because I would rather not know. I'd rather just think I got the flu, and if I don't make it, oh well, right? Unless it is like some of those terrible videos. It's $3,000 in the United States to get privately tested for this thing. You think I'm joking, right?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, everything
exactly.
is ridiculously priced.
Listen, here's how I want to do it.
You go to Tijuana and get it for $15.
I mean, dude, probably. This is what I want, John.
Yeah, like
and
that's I don't know.
that's outrageous.
I mean,
Look,
our healthcare system is completely garbage. That doesn't mean, and understanding that it's completely garbage doesn't mean I want state-run healthcare either. But
what about this?
Something's got to be done.
Not that. All right. So what about this? You set up a real watchdog organization outside of the government. Okay, let's start there because that's the only way I think it's going to work. Right? That has all access to all these pharmaceutical companies. Then you nationalize them based on the fucking.
Wow.
No, you're done.
Who gets to run it? You know they're going to put one of their buddies in charge.
I get it, but here's the thing: you
You
got to
gotta
have
vote
checks
it
and
out.
balances. John, we used to have checks and balances in this country. We don't, right?
Mhm.
I get
Oh,
it.
you're right.
I know it's terrible, but let's say we have that. Let's nationalize fucking the entire pharmaceutical industry in this country. Period. If you're in this country, you are nationalized. If fucking Bayer or anybody else wants to sue us, let them. Let them do it over in whatever country they want to operate out of, right? So you just take it over. You take all pharmaceuticals off of TV, 1,000%. There's never another fucking commercial for them ever. Then when you go to the doctor, you're not asking them about medicine that's being advertised and has to turn a fucking profit anymore. You're asking them, how do I solve this? And then they go through the list of medicines that are being produced by the government at a base level, right? And again, being checked up by this watchdog organization, and you get it at cost. That's it. The medication is at cost. And when I say at cost, what it costs to fucking employ that person that's there, what it costs for the research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The real deal, not some imagination land markup. Now, I realize it could be abused, but our system is so abused now, it's literally, if you're not rich, fuck you and die.
Get rich. Get rich.
I'm trying every day, John. I'm trying to climb that ladder.
Yeah. Get rich. It's better to be rich than not to be rich.
I don't know,
Moral
man.
of
I'm
the
in this
story.
little crypto game a little bit now with Rockfin. Guys, subscribe to my Rockfin. Go there now. John has a Rockfin too. That's what I forgot to talk about.
Rockfin too.
Yes.
I've been putting up free content. I haven't put anything behind the paywall because a lot of it it's recycled, and I don't want to put recycled content.
But they got you right here, my friend. That's where you want to go. 509 followers already. If you're following me on Rockfin, you can do so. And I think I got about 40 of you actually subscribing and endorsing me. So thank you guys so much. Today, you got my exclusive coronavirus update video. And we're also going to be playing some blast from the past stuff after this. I'm going to post that as well. It's a really cool platform. I love it, and I'm hoping to keep doing it. I wish that it looked like it was my software that messed up before, but we're going to post this over there too. It's got a nice little cross-reference. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I mean, you're going to smash the coronavirus. We know that. Who do we got? Oh, big thing. Who do we got?
The two girls that won on Saturday night. That's kind of like the biggest. This kind of like the biggest news out of the fights. Was,
Meg Anderson?
Yeah, the next lineup for. Who's next for Amanda Nunes?
Yeah, but come on.
The other girl looked good too.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like Megan Anderson. I think that she got a shitty deal when she put that toe in Zingano's eye, and everybody hated her for it. I mean, she's just a big chick. There's not a lot of 145ers. I'd pay to see that. Why not? She looks hungry. And the other thing about that is in women's MMA, a lot of those a lot of those ladies get that much better in between fights. I mean, you've seen a lot of those people evolve quickly. Nunes is one of them, you know? I mean, she was a semi-competitive person a year and a half before she started blowing through everybody and then knocking out Cyborg. That's an achievement in itself. Who was the other woman fight that I missed?
Man. What was the I have to look at the card real quick.
I watched the card. I'm trying to think. I know you're right. It was stacked with chick fights. Oh, he said chick. He's a misogynist. Oh, you know what? Let's get your prediction on this one.
That was Felicia Spencer.
Alicia Spencer.
Felicia Spencer.
Interesting.
She's tough, big chick.
What's she at? She's a 145?
Yeah, also.
Okay.
Because that was kind of like the talk I've heard several people talk who could beat next for Nunes because they were both pretty beastly.
Well, it's tough to find a 145-pound, woman that's like in shape and ready to bang. You know what I mean? Ready to get in there with a killer like Nunes. I don't want to get in there with a killer like Nunes at all. I watched that Cyborg training with Bisping video. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, I'll send that your way. I mean, Bisping tells her to stop. He's like, "What are you doing? Please stop." I mean, she puts it on him, man.
Relax, woman.
That's right. Relax. Upcoming card. I'd love to see Joanna take it to Weili. I don't think that's happening. I think Weili has a big future in, I think that's 115, right? She's the champ there. I think she's pretty much unstoppable. She's got a huge market as long as the coronavirus does not
wipe them out.
Wipe them out.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. And then we got Romero and Asanya. I want Romero so bad. What do you want?
I'd love to watch Romero win that fight, set up a rematch. That'd get some energy to MMA right now.
And plus, he's an old timer. What's he, 41 now? 42?
42. Said he wants to fight 10 more years. Man.
That's dedication, folks. Dan
tired.
Severn did it. Severn should have stopped. Tank Abbott should have stopped.
What level are you fighting at when you're doing it? Severn was fighting guys that had 0 fights and 2 weeks of training.
I get it, but like even Severn, man, they did one of those UFC Where Are They Nows with Severn. He doesn't sound the same, dude. He's slow. He took too many shots. He should have stopped. I mean, Tank, I don't know that you're ever. I think Tank's the kind of guy that just kind of goes out like that in a bar at fucking Santa Cruz. It's at like 72 years old anyway, so you're never gonna stop Tank. But you don't want to see that with a fighter. Romero, I mean, world class to this day. He's an animal and wrestling base, but striking crazy, fun fights, and forget Jesus. You know what I'm saying? No forget Jesus.
No forget Jesus.
Love it. Oh, guys,
I love
everything.
you guys.
Hey, I love that everybody thought that he was actually being like anti-gay on this, and then you're like, oh, he's saying don't forget Jesus. Oh, we're all assholes.
No forget Jesus.
JonFitch.net. That's the website where you can find the Instagram, the Facebook, all the Patreon stuff, as well as actually you doing the Patreon stuff.
Sign up for the newsletter too.
Yeah, it's all there. Make sure that you are subscribed. You thumbs this video up. We do it every single Monday. I think this is like episode 22, or I got to start putting numbers in the beginning of it. Grueling Truth, that's where you get the audio cast. And we'll give you the review of that big event. And I'll be on scene. You know what? I might even pester some fighters over at the Bellator event. I'm always there early. I'm usually not gambling. They're always around. Maybe I start streaming it. I'll be like, hey, I got this thing going on. Fitch is there. Fitch loves it. Would you give him a shot? Maybe Lima will be there. I see him there every time. So he's always at the Starbucks. He's at the Starbucks, folks. It's the big secret. Guys, I will see you later. Thank you, John.
All right. Peace, Jason. Later, guys.